leadership in the university days. Samuela is someone I know personally because we're schoolmates. So he acted as a leadership recruitment process. But over the years, I'm not sure. If you go around the State House of Assembly and National, you see pockets of some of these people who rose. Then if you remove them, every other person are the people who have entered there through brigandage, people who snatch ballot boxes, kill for their masters and all that. So the Nigerian political class have not been very fair to the youth. They've denied them almost everything. Because of that, there is a massive gap. Don't also forget that people point to youth to be the reasons behind all the crisis, all the crimes around the country. But if you look at the victims as well, they are. Because at the end of the day, who is enlisted in the army for Boko Haram to kill? Is the youth. If you look at who are the ones that are sent to go and rescue people? They are the youth. So the youth are both victims and perpetrators of everything you know about Nigeria. But behind the scene are the elders who want to use them as a tool. Because there is nobody, if a youth is not going to benefit from going to snatch ballot boxes, for instance, why is it snatching it? Is an elder that has asked him to do that. So for whatever you blame the youth of Nigerians today, you also blame the elders because they are the real masquerade behind the scene.
Okay, still on that, but I'll take you back. At one time, we had one voice for the youth. That's talking about, at the university levels, and of course I'll see that as representing the youth of the country.
Yeah.
And I remember this situation of the 70s, 78 going there when Obasanjo was still the head of state, and of course we had this Ali Mongo, as we called it then, must go route, where youths all over the country, universities came up with one voice. And remember again that Femi Okewo was representing the NANS then, so to say. And when this crisis, of Ali Mosgo came up, Ahmadu Bello University, where I was then, a student was shot dead, and it went all over the country, and the universities in the country took it all, and came out. One voice.
It changed the whole thing.
And it changed the whole thing. What has changed since then?
Political interference. Today, if you go to universities again, the politicians will not allow the students to have their elections freely. They interfere. They make sure that it's the person who will not oppose them in government. And these students, naturally, who should hold their own, become tools for violence, for disagreement in society. So where they don't get their way, they create factions. So if you look at the higher institution, this thing, you see that politicians have invaded it. If you look at the labor union that used to be strong, politicians have invaded it. All those areas that were the strength of that's supposed to be the foundation of our democracy, politicians have invaded it. And why are they invading it? Because they know that they have nothing good for the masses, and except they capture those places, they will not remain in power long. So what they have done is to invade them. And that's why I keep saying that you can blame the Nigerian youth of today. They have their problem, and I think in the course of the program we're going to talk about them. But the major problem is that the elders have not allowed them to try.
Now the elders will keep talking about, their youthful days. And recall again, I'm taking you back to the likes of Gawan, Azikiwe, Awolowo, Saldana, and all of them, founding fathers of the nation. And they came into leadership and position at their time in their youth. But again, military intervention, what did they do to disengaging the youths in politics and governance?
I think you can blame the military for some of those things, but I don't think you can blame them. For instance, we have practiced democracy for 21 years. What have we done with our youths? I can tell you that in the whole of the federal structure, you can't have anybody who's less than 50 occupying any senior position in government under President Buhari. In Kaduna, we've had it so good. I don't think you can even find anybody 50 and above around Malam El-Rufai. But at the federal level, it's been very embarrassing. The president and his acolytes, they have surrounded themselves with people of their own age. So, and I don't know what their thoughts are. I am not in their head, but it makes a mix of our democracy, because you wonder when all those admonitions when we were giving when we are growing, that we are behave well, you are the leaders of tomorrow. When it's going to come? This leadership is really never going to come. So when you have people, you have that blockage, because in every adult's life, there is a progressive trajectory. Once it is blocked off, what you get is frustration that can now lead to a lot of things, that which is why you are seeing a lot. Because look at the kidnapping, for instance. You will not get a position to exhibit your skill. You will not get even ordinary welfare to take care of you and your family. But if you kidnap one politician, they will give you 100 million. So the reward system for crime in Nigeria is higher for the youth to ignore. So why are the politicians not channeling the energy they are using to give 500 million, 300 million, 200 to really putting into service delivery that will make life better for the ordinary Nigerian? So that these people, because a gainfully employed man will have no time to think crime. Even the Holy Book says the idle mind, that is the devil's workshop. So the system is keeping these idle minds very idle. And the only consequences of it is what we see, whether in terms of rape, whether in terms of crime, whether in terms of banditry, whatever you call it. The system is frustrating them. The system is not giving them. Look at our university system. Look at our polytechnic system. Look at the colleges of education. You go to school, you remain an educated illiterate. You have no skill on your own. You cannot stand. You pile up waiting for government job that never comes. That only goes to children of ministers and directors and all that. So when you have built up this frustration in the minds of Nigerian youth, the society can only be the way it is. I'm not sure that we laid foundation for a better society than we are seeing today. Our fathers have not tried for us. What you are seeing today is a complete reflection of the society they have built for us. So they should quit blaming the youths. And I tell a lot of my peers that for us, we are gone. My only problem now is for my children. Whatever I do today is to see whether I can contribute for a better society for my children. Because it is very difficult to begin to bend somebody who's kidnapped, who is the kidnapper. You catch him and say you are rehabilitating. We have had issues of Boko Haram, former Boko Haram people reintegrated inside the society, and they are killing their parents and all that. So our bones are strong. There's hardly anything. So what we should be thinking about is the next generation. But for this one, unfortunately, our elders have destroyed us.
Well, again, you keep talking about elders, or we keep talking about elders, and our youth, they would say that elders have not indeed given them a chance to be involved in governance and in politics. And I take you back to the situation where President Muhammadu Buhari, for us today, some Nigerians would say too old to get to do the job, that okay, time for him to quit. And when I hear that, I go back to a climb where we picked up our democracy to say that the United States of America, Donald Trump is in his 70s. Biden today, who wants to contest with him, is also in his 70s. And the Americans accept them, and they come out in their thousands to give support to them. That democracy still holds. What is wrong? Are we saying our old ones or their leaders today are bereft of ideas? Why is it that the young ones pick on this old one?
I don't think that is fair to compare America and Nigeria. I know for about 30 years, America chose people of 50 and under to govern them. I think Donald Trump became an exception, and Joe Biden may be again another exception. So the society you're referring to is a society that have entrusted all in their youths. So if they are making exception of choosing someone else, it might just be, and don't forget that the two running candidates, it was a matter of between choosing gender, you know what America is when it comes to gender, and choosing a man, irrespective of age. So I think it was an exception. I don't think it's fair to compare with Nigeria. But when you come to Nigeria, the question is, we keep referring to the old people because we think they are culpable. They are the culprits. If you, from Malam Nasir El-Rufai, in fact, downwards, all of them went to school. I'm sure you went to school for education. You were fed. Even some of you were paid stipends. But what did you bequeath to our generation? So if we point the finger, we are pointing rightly at the right quarters. These are people who enjoyed the good of Nigeria. Then when it became their turn, they denied everybody. It was when they now started telling us the education is expensive.
The reality of the time may dictate what had to happen then.
No, but what has happened? Has that changed in America? Again, I continue to point exception to the governor of Kaduna State. He's been an exception. In an era where everybody complains that education is expensive, what have they done to alleviate the sufferings of the poor? Because when you talk about education, you can educate the children of the elite. The children of the poor, the illiterate children of the poor will eat them up. Because there's a saying that one day there will be nothing left to eat except the rich. So and Nigeria is getting close to that. But if you look at what he's done in Kaduna, he has established even an education loan where if you are not one of the privileged, you can take loan and go to school, then pay when you get job. So that's what responsible leadership should be. If you are not talking about times changing. But we still have a system where people, they do not offer any hope. They do not offer any solution. What we only hear are excuses. And I think it's not good for the polity.
Yes, and how are we helping ourselves about that? Again, I go back to, the not too young to run bill. National Assembly coming out with it, the president, giving assent to it and all of that. In 2019, we had, we had an election, and we saw woefully how, the youths, performed. Again, where the blame would come from.
No, I don't think so. I think that we have a way of celebrating rhetorics in Nigeria. Now, what is the not too young to run bill or act? It is to give opportunity to young people to participate in the political governance of Nigeria. That's what the bill connotes. But look at the electoral system. The electoral system, for you to even contest to be a governor, without giving anybody money for campaign, anybody money for campaign, just to monitor your election that you are placing an agent. For instance, if you are paying your agent about 5,000, you need over 100 million on the election day to be able to get your results.
It's not an individual, it's a party.
Hold on. You need about 100 million to get your result back. I agree it's a party. But where does the party get the money from? It's not from the contestants. That's one aspect. Then even for you to buy form, because there are two major political parties, or every other one is also run. Now, to buy form in each of them to be a governor, you have upward of 10 million to buy that form. Then you are talking about not too young. And don't forget that it's not just not too young to run. It's supposed to be for sincere people. So you can make it not too young to run, and it ends up being the young people, but the criminals among them. So we have a problem. It's not the rhetorics of not too young to... that has been signed. But the reality facing us is the fact that our electoral system is too expensive. It excludes the best from participating in it. I'm not sure I am the only person who's saying it. Every other person is saying it. So you only leave it for criminals. If you go around, most of the people who go to House of Assembly, whether it's a state or federal, or even contest election, are former drug barons. We saw the running battle between former President Olusegun Obasanjo and now the late Buruji Kashimu. So, and it's the same thing all around Nigeria. So, if you're signing a not too young to run law, you should complement it by reforming your electoral system to give space to people, to that same category of people that you have signed that law for, to be able to participate. But the electoral system excludes them. Then you have this law that says you are not. But it's for you to be on your own. So it's not. I don't think it's proper to look at it. For me, I couldn't celebrate the not too young because I knew that it was not going anywhere. And except we do something about our electoral system, in the next 30 years, we are never going to get out of this conundrum. We're going to remain there because the system itself doesn't encourage you to participate. The violence, the rigging, the ballot snatching, everything around the electoral system excludes anybody who will be honest.
For Malam Nasiru El-Rufai in Kaduna State, you've hammered on that's one man to look at and to look for in how mentorship has been, and of course grooming the young ones for tomorrow's leadership. again, the issue coming up here again, we've looked at our elders, we've said all sorts of things about that. I mean, even mentorship. Has mentorship been able to help the young ones when, again, mentorship most times not separated from Godfatherism? And again, that's showing up in politics and governance.
I think somebody said an interesting thing in one of the my engagement during the International Youth Day, I think 2 days ago. And somebody said, when we talk about mentorship, that somebody can be mentored to be a thief. So it's about choosing the right mentors. So and when we talk about mentorship, we should differentiate whether it's the bad one or the good one. I have not really seen anything, and I'll give you a stark example. When I speak out, I hope the listeners will not think that maybe Malam has given me money this morning to speak. But I think that the good thing about when you invite us to the program is that we say things as they are. Some will be offended, but some will understand that is the truth. But not. I think on this program a couple of times I've spoken against Malam Nasir El-Rufai. But since we are talking about youth participation, I think he's an example. Now we have some of the best brains, our forefathers, who there's a general agreement that they were good people, like the Sam Adibelo, the Michael Okpara, Kashim Ibrahim, Obafemi Awolowo. Now the question to ask is that how many of our leaders have built mentorship around these people that we have general agreements that these people, if it's these people, they were good? He seemed to be the only one that have done that.
Malam Nasir.
Malam Nasir. He seemed, the Kasim Ibrahim fellow, I think the third one now, the fellowship, I think one of your staff now is getting into it. And the good thing about it is, it doesn't matter where you come from. It's a Nigerian program. It doesn't matter where you come from. You don't check whether you are from Kaduna, you are not from Kaduna. People from all walks of life, they are exposed to real day-to-day governance processes. And that is what mentorship is.
Do we have a clear separation of mentorship and Godfatherism?
Of course, there is.
Yeah, so how has that affected, matters of governance? Because again, when you talk about Godfatherism, we have said continuously, we'll say that Godfatherism interfering in, participation.
Godfatherism is a man who, without him, others can't stand. A godfather does not build capacities of his godsons because they will perpetually always depend on him. A mentor raises giants, some of whom will end up being bigger than himself. There's a clear demarcation. I understand the fact that the mentees, most of them, will continue to show loyalty to their mentors. But the good thing is that the mentor will always be proud of the kind of people he has raised. A godfather doesn't want to give you a chance to grow, because the day you grow is the day you oppose him. And we have seen it again. You can use Malam Nasir El-Rufai as an example. He came here and all the godfathers that brought him, they had a running battle throughout his first term. So I understand that people will say, these people will always be loyal. But if your life has been improved, I don't question the loyalty. But I want to see people improving other people's life, especially the young people. So that when they are no longer on the stage, there are people that can competently go there and handle the affairs of the state. That is what we need to have a proper youth in Nigeria. And that's the only thing that can give you fulfillment. Every year, when on the 12th of August, we are shouting Happy International Day of the Youth. So, you have to give him all the credit. Don't forget that you have other heroes that nobody is talking about. Let state begin to raise their youth. The elders, it is their responsibility to raise the youth. The youth can't grow on themselves, on their own. They need mentors. Unfortunately, most of the political leaders are not people you can say, please come and mentor me. And that's why I said I love the question somebody asked, that when you talk about mentorship, that you be very careful, because a thief who can mentor someone. An armed robber can mentor.
Mentorship has never been used negatively.
Of course, but somebody raised it, and we can discuss it.
Okay. Right. The program is Perspectives this morning, coming to you on Invicta 9819. And we are with us this morning, Lawrence Obewe, the convener of Reset Nigeria. And of course, we all know what it is when we reset, ourselves. And we're looking at International Youth Day celebrated. We're still commemorating the occasion, and we're still celebrating all of it for our young ones and the youths of the site. We'll come back after this break.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Holding it down 100 on
Welcome back. This is the program Perspectives, and we're still in the mood of the International Day of International Youth Day, 12th of August of every year. And again, we're looking at Nigerian youths, how they fared so much or so well. And Lawrence Obewe, convener Hope Reset Nigeria, with us in the studios. Lawrence, again, before we get to the audience in all of this, I'm seeing, when we started this program, you made mention of Nigerians doing well in the international community, doing well. And when I say doing well, I mean it in the positive way. And then we look at the negative way too, the hush puppies that have come out of Nigeria and really giving it a bad name to the country. I'd like you to make a comparison of why these two are, at the top of their game now, internationally. I'm looking at the level of crime and how it's been perpetrated by Nigerians, international community, and the Nigerians doing so well also in the same community, international community.
On the good parts, if you look at the Nigerians doing well, they are either the ones who were born out and raised outside here, or the ones who couldn't get opportunities here and left and went to a place where they had opportunities and they are striving. That is fine. Then on the bad part is a reflection of our country. It's a complete reflection. For every one hush puppy that you see in the news abroad, you have 1 million others. And that's the most unfortunate thing about what is happening in Nigeria. The youth have been neglected so much to the extent that majority of them are now taking the bull by the horn. Unfortunately, most of them are doing it wrongly. Most of the 419 that you see are done by the youth. And a lot of them happen in Nigeria. The Yahoos, a lot of them happen in Nigeria. But there are a few of them, the Yahoo boys, who are so daring that they now want to play international, because the world is now a global village. You can stay here and start there. So that's a reflection. So the Nigerian leaders will have to look at it. My biggest worry in the whole thing is that it doesn't seem to worry them. You can talk about the hush puppies and all that. And I think that I have heard a lot of condemnation of the former petroleum minister, her comment, Desiane Madike. But if you listen to that, her comment, and reason it deep, she made a lot of sense. And that's why I said about mentorship. Nigerians are choosing wrong mentors. There are a lot of people who look up to Hush Puppy. Forget that he has an issue, and everybody now has recognized there's a global acclaim that he's a thief. But before then, how many people really questioned his wealth? We even saw our politicians taking turns to take photographs with him. So the younger generation are having the wrong mentorship. And that's why the older generation must step in to give them alternative. A lot of them have been denied so much opportunity. If you go to the villages, they depend on people who come from abroad. I know in communities, especially in eastern Nigeria, people sell land to send their children abroad, knowing fully well that those children have no capacity. There is nothing open to them on their way out of Nigeria other than going to steal and dupe people. But families come together, sell their land to send them out. So you can blame the youth, but at the foundation, is the society. Is what is left of the society.
We have a situation on our hands now, and the situation we have, I'm looking at all of it, where the youth have been left in the cold. Come to family, go to religious homes, go to school, go to the larger society, and all of that is not, giving the youth any support.
No, nothing.
So where are we with the youth? Can we help the situation, or can we in any way help the situation?
During the youth there, I spoke at an event and I made it clear. All the mentorship institutions that we knew when we were growing up were there to mentor the youth are now turning things upside down. For instance, the religious houses. You go to a religious house, they will pray for you that this week that somebody that you don't know from anywhere is going to bless you. And immediately you are offered a bribe, you are remembering the pastor's prayer without hard work. So that's how bad. But I also grew up when somebody came and donated 2,000 in a church. Because the church knew his antecedent, that he wasn't a very straightforward person, the church rejected the money in his presence. Told him, take your money and go away, we will not take it. Can that ever happen today? We have our educational institution awarding doctorate degree to non-thieves in Nigeria. Public funded institutions. We have the traditional institutions awarding chieftaincy titles to criminals. We have our churches awarding knights to criminals, non-criminals.
The family.
You have the family sending their children out knowing that they are going to steal. So why do you blame the youth?
So where's the way out?
So that the truth, I saw somebody made a simple post and I think it made so much sense. That in Nigeria, there is no evidence to convince a young man for him to be sincere in the society. Because that the only reward for sincerity in Nigeria is shame and reproach. Will you doubt that? So that's why I said, what we see today and we blame it on the youth is the failure of our society. But the question to ask, has Nigeria recognized that it is destroying the future of his country?
Where do we start?
What Malam is doing, rejuvenate the youth. Make new mentorship programs. Give people new lease of life. Go to his government, you hardly see anybody beyond 50. Maybe just the civil servants, but not among his appointments. So, and if you look at the ripple effect in Kaduna, you discover that Kaduna is not as ambitious as other places where Yahoo is thriving. Because people are now saying that you need to get some level of capacity and be waiting whether Malam will see you. People are beginning to get involved. Build new capacities because they know that once I have it here, perhaps I can be recognized. It doesn't matter where you come from.
What about getting all of it, even from the Malam's Kashim Ibrahim Fellowship? You get all of that in the school. You come out with flying colors and doing well, driving well, sincere, to what you're doing, and then you come to the open society and you do not have the opportunity to fly.
No, the good thing is if you start it because every development, every business grows from the little space. So if you start it from here, you build a critical mass of young people, responsible young people. It can rub off on the society. For instance, if you have, let's say you have very responsible youths, all representing Kaduna State in the National Assembly, it will rub off on the National Assembly as an institution. Because everybody will see these people are. So you might begin to have people who will begin to think, why not we go this way? We have seen what is happening in Oyo, even though I'm not there to tell you exactly whether it's good or bad. But the ones I read on the news are very chilling news. So we must start somewhere. I understand the fact that it's like a drop in the ocean. It might not metamorphose to anything. But there is no effort that will be wasted. So we must start. You have to commend him. You have to commend what is happening in Kaduna State. There are a few other places we will ask questions. And when I come to your program, I'm sincere enough to ask those questions. But when it comes to youth participation in governance, because if you look at today, this year's theme is Youth for Global Action. It's happening in Kaduna. He made appointment, is it 3 or 4 days ago? Go and look at the list. Look if you see any 50-something inside. It's 30-something, 40-something. That's what you need in a society.
It's not denying some other members of society.
It gives hope.
Rights.
It gives...
Is that not denying some members of the society too?
No. They've had their time. Yes, they have. They've had their time.
They can have it back.
Yeah, I really don't understand how in this age and time we are still having 70-something as a president. It's difficult to explain to my daughters. Because it means that everything I was told about being a leader of tomorrow is nonsense. How old am I? How many? I was telling somebody was telling me that, no, let's build the foundation for future. I said, there is no future now. I am over 40. In the next 2 electoral cycles, I'll be close to 50. So, people will come and sit here and say, hey, you are old, join them. But I've not had my chance. That's how bad it is.
Are we having a peculiar situation in Nigeria?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We are. It's peculiar in Nigeria. It's not a global thing. Every other place you see the youth springing up. I have no question if somebody like President Buhari came in, because it was the exigency of the time that brought him in. But he showed that the future belonged to the youth and surrounded himself with youth. I wouldn't have issues. But that he still believes that people of his level are the only ones good enough for Nigeria beats my imagination. That's the one I can't explain to anybody.
Again, the Nigerian youth elder had said about cannot, trust the youth, Nigerian youth, with, the nation, so to say.
So that's what I'm saying. One day they leave the space, so it crashes. So if you don't trust them, what do? You build them. And I can understand that Malam is building them in case he doesn't trust them. So who else is?
Okay, we'll come to the audience, but this is standing out, and give it to Malam. It's standing out in this discussion, and I'm sure if we take it to other forums, it will just be the same, that Malam Nasir El-Rufai is doing a great job in Kaduna State with his mentorship program, and we're saying it, and appointments and all of that. So how these can translate to the national space, we'll be looking at that. For now, we'd like to come to the audience to be part of this conversation, and numbers to call to be on this conversation: 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How does good morning to you?
Good morning, sir.
On the line.
Who's on the line?
On the line.
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, your name, please.
Ogunwale is on the line.
Ogunwale, okay, all right.
Thank you. You see, the issue of the youth in this country, I want our leaders to realize that they always use youth where are they today. Then when they use the ladder finish, they now throw it. They forgot that they are falling down. Let me tell you, it's very, very difficult for youth to become anything in this country. Look at those our 50, 70, yeah, pieces. Because they don't take their family.
I like to apologize. We're having a little challenge here in the studios, but getting over it. So, still with the program perspectives and taking your calls.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm Chris calling from Kaduna, from Kakuri.
Chris, okay, let's hear you.
Yeah. I actually appreciate your program this morning. But again, I have a quarrel with the whole approach about all workers in Nigeria. I'm sorry, in Kaduna, according to the same Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the speaker is actually hailing. Using First Bank simply because he lost a case with them. To go and register with other banks, simply because they didn't give out their whole premises to him for his project, and he lost at the court. He became a bad loser. Is that also a mentorship?
Okay, bad for mentorship, you mean? Okay, that's Chris. I like us to address Chris. Chris is saying that Malam Nasir El-Rufai, that we're all, saying that it's top on the list of mentorship. He left First Bank. Well, the nitty-gritty of this, I do not know, but he left First Bank because he had whatever issues with them. And again, is that good for mentorship?
I don't think. I think that's strictly business relationship. How he earns it. I don't think it's part of the discussion.
Okay, so Chris, just the business relationship there probably gone sour. But again, that's not what we're looking at. Of course, again. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Frank.
Good morning. Your name, please?
Francis from Melbourne.
All right, Francis, let's say.
Good morning to your guest this morning.
Good morning, sir.
Honestly, I'm happy to hear your voice and all you have analyzed this morning. Sir, to be sincere, for the youth to strive in Nigeria, it will be as hard as what Bible described for an what is it even called, to pass through an eye of a needle. That is simple. But it's like cooking without water. The leaders have made all aspects of Nigeria as a nation very difficult for a youth to strive, to succeed. From the economy to working class and every aspect, until you belong to that class before you'll be able to do something on your own without depending on them. The only way now is for what one get your program was certain time state, one a man by that, is for we to look for how to inculcate justice in our way of nationhood. Without justice, all we are doing cannot work because our leaders have programmed and bundled the nation in their control. Thank you.
All right, Francis. Okay, we got you. One more call and then we'll come back to our guest. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chalabi. Good morning, Mr. My friend, Lawrence. I want to engineer Emmanuel.
All right.
Yeah, your guest has spoken very well. It's just unfortunate. These are the kind of people that are supposed to be in leadership position, but because no God for that reason, whether left or right or back or front. You see, it's just unfortunate. I remember when the sign of not too young to run bill, and Mr. President said that the youth should allow him come 2023, then they should come on board. I was expecting that his appointment, he will bring vibrant youth to put them in key positions so that we remove, not that this elderly one, they have done their own part, let them go rest and they become elderly statesmen. But unfortunately, who is representing Nigeria as an ambassador in US is over in something years. And the man that could not even work very well is the one representing us there. Look at all the key positions. It's all elderly ones that does not have that kind of strength, that zeal of moving. They are the one they put in key. So where is the place of the youth in this country? If you don't have a godfather, you are on your own. Now, if we are talking about Kaduna, is trying. Tinubu did it. Now that is why he has voice all left, right, and center because he has groomed them. Now that is why he's having his way when it comes to something because he has groomed. So I believe that is what our governor is trying to do, and I'm not against it. That is the story of this thing. So what I'm saying, from the federal to the state, they should give the youth the opportunity. But unfortunately, the youth allow themselves to be used by this same called elite. They will just give them peanuts or make them.
Okay. Oh, Engineer Emmanuel. Okay, but we got the gist. But quickly, still with Engineer Emmanuel, Lawrence, before you answer some of the questions, I'd like to just put this. Okay. When Engineer Emmanuel was talking about, these are the kind of views. referring to you now, that he would want to represent us. We've had, young ones that have come and eloquent and all of that, giving all that when they're given their position of leadership, you'd expect that we'll feel them. But again, so much disappointment, they've turned coat, and so much they've also melted into, what is happening there. What again is that about?
Absolutely, what you said is the truth. I know that if you look at under President Obasanjo, a lot of youths given opportunities melted with time. But again, if you look at somebody like Manam Nasir El-Rufai, he stood out, and he stood out because he waged a war against the old system. He had consequences on him. So for every youth that wants to go into leadership, you must have a thick skin. You must be ready for battle, because you are entering a system where even majority of the people who are there are looking at you as an outsider. So it's either you consume or you consume them. So it's not an easy thing, and that's why I don't think that you should wish that people be appointed. I think you should wait for people to make up their minds to get appointed, because if you have made up your mind, then you are ready for the battle. But if because somebody say you should be appointed and you are appointed, you might get there and the battle will swallow you. I agree. Then that on one part. Then the second part is the fact that a lot of youths as well, even those that are not into crime, are not doing enough to build themselves and position themselves for capacity. A lot of us come to the media and we criticize government a lot. And just as you said, most times if that leadership is thrown at you, you discover that you don't even have the capacity. So every youth must have something he's very good at. And if you're given a position outside that you are very good at, please say thank you very much. I cannot do this job. So, but it is foolhardy for you to just come and criticize, but and want to get there, knowing fully well that you cannot do the job. That would be like disgracing yourself, and we've seen it happen a couple of times.
Okay, we still can take one or two calls before we bring it to a close. All right.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Sunday, Nigeria.
Okay.
You see, about the youth issue, the whole Africa, youth in Nigeria is the best. If they can give award, I will give youth in Nigeria award. That's the best. They can endure. Youth in Nigeria, they can endure. Because right now, if you go to Aso Rock, all of them there in Aso Rock, they are 85 years ruling the country. It's not supposed to be like that. Other country is not like that at all. It's only Nigeria I'm seeing this type of ruling. Look at the youth. They are very brilliant. They went to school. A lot of lecturers. They are here doing nothing. No job.
Okay.
No political something. Please, I'm advising the federal government, anything they are doing, they should let youth inside.
Okay.
They should join them.
All right,
because
Sunday.
people are old.
All right, Sunday Nigeria, we got it. Okay, from Sunday Nigeria, I picked this word. I picked endurance. That the youths of Nigeria must be ready to endure. And again, this is about research. Nigeria, so cap it up for us.
Okay, I don't believe that they might be one of the best, but I don't think they are the best. But I can say, as you said, they endure the most. They are the most ingenious. They are the most creative. Sometimes those creativity are used for the wrong reasons, and that's what I would say about that. But the bottom line is the fact that there is a system collapse in Nigeria. I no longer want to use the term failure, because I think there is now collapse, complete collapse, and the leaders must understand that the Nigeria they are building is Nigeria that will collapse on all of us. They must do something about bridging the gap between themselves and the ones that are coming. We have endured a lot of hardship now, but I think that the legacy they are leaving, they will not even want to stay alive to see it as it is today. So they must do everything possible to reverse this tide if Nigeria is going to make progress. And for every youth, thank you for continuing enduring. Thank you for being the most creative. Thank you for being the most hardworking. But continue to strive. One day the opportunities will come. And
that will just be about the size of it on Perspectives this morning. And we looked at the International Youth Day, 12th August of every year, and Nigerian youths compared to youths of other climes. And Lawrence Obere, convener, Reset Nigeria, shedding more light and giving his thoughts on how the youth of the country have fared. Lawrence Obere, thank you for coming on the program.
Always, thank you very much.
All right. We'll come back with perspectives on Monday. I'd like to thank Murphy for, connecting us with the people. And Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. Have a wonderful weekend.